that I've learned to how to turn on my mic.
Because yeah, if this is green and that's green, then.
Yeah. I got a weird one. So see, there's no.
All right, do we have a motion to open?
I move we start the meeting.
You don't want to do that? Oh, okay. Okay, a second. All right, so first thing on the agenda, roll call. Lizzie Taylor. Here. Bridget King.
Here.
Sean Muscolo.
Yes, here I am.
Brecken Bird will be here. Crystal Paulson here. Patrick O'Leary.
Here.
Bobby Gatton.
Here.
Hannah Scoville. Not here. Asil.
Looks like she's online.
Oh, she's online?
I'm seeing it.
Yep.
Hi, Hannah. So Hannah is here and Vasil Ivanov is not. All right, so let's move on to adoption of the agenda. First on the docket is approval of minutes from July 11th, 2024.
Madam Chair, I so move.
Second.
Patrick moves, Lizzie Taylor seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Appro-
Oh, no.
Approval of monthly financial statement.
Madam Chair, I move we so approve.
Patrick moves,
Second.
Lizzie Taylor seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. All right, just going real quick through here. Number 3 is reports, update of initial point gallery exhibit.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Commissioners and Cassandra. The current exhibit is called Cross Sections, Jan Freeman Long, Martha Channer, and Stephen Fisher. It opened on the 6th, which was Tuesday of last week. Patrick, how many people did you click in?
21 is all.
Okay, that sounds a little bit low, but I'm not having anything to do with your clicking abilities. The weather was extremely hot, and I was not able to stay the whole time, unfortunately. It's a lovely show, and if you haven't seen it, I suggest you do so. There is going to be another event with the same artists, which is the Additional Artist Talk event, which is on September 10th at noon. Urge all of you to come, and Cassandra, will that be publicized on the typical social media? Great, thank you for that. Upcoming exhibit is called A Touch of Landscape. I can't pronounce all of the people's names, so you can read them for yourselves. Opening on October 1st, and Bridget is hosting that. That will be Bridget's first time hosting an Initial Point Gallery exhibit, for which we are appreciative. Okay. I'm going to ask Brecken, Commissioner Byrd, to give us a little update on the scheduling and the naming of the upcoming Bosco show, which is being held next year, 2025, in June and July. Brecken?
Hi. Yeah, so
Bosco just, they wanted to change the name a bit. It was Rodeo and Idaho Icon. And they wanted to make it a little bit broader without straying too far from the actual topic that they applied with. I have the name, I just forgot it. Let me look it up real quick.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, Brecken had, Commissioner Byrd had emailed it to me. It's Dusty Chaps and Cowboy Hats, Idaho's Ranching and Rodeo Heritage.
Thanks, Cassandra. Sorry about that. So that is pending Bosco board approval, but I think that will be the name.
Am I supposed to say anything more here? I don't think so.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, I guess I also just follow up. So the gallery schedule, we sent out the agreements to artists. Most of them, we've received most of the agreements back. There's just a few. And then waiting on City Council to officially approve the schedule. And then I'll execute those contracts. And we're looking pretty good and have that all wrapped up for the 2024 schedule.
Actually, it's the 2025 schedule. Not wishing to correct.
Thank
but
you.
Somebody is going to pick a nit sometime.
So this does say it's an action item. Do we have something that we need to vote on? No. So we can move on. Excellent, guys. That sounds, I love the new name. Okay, next on our agenda is the Public Art Committee updates with Commissioner Bobby Gatton.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, I update our meeting minutes. Our meeting went well. We discussed the juried application, the scoring results for the recommended traffic boxes. We chose three artists. The first two highest scoring artists is Claire Remsburg and Willow Wells. And the third artist that we discussed was Kayla Hansen. And so we're excited for their artwork to be displayed. We did discuss if Kayla, the third artist, if she could agree on incorporating a historical photo based on her idea that she submitted to be wrapped on the smaller box next to the bigger one. I think Cassandra might have an update on that.
Yeah, Madam Chair and Commissioners, I did reach out to the library and I got a nice scan of that photo, and I have an email out to our legal liaison, Emily Kane, but she probably didn't get to it quite yet, unless she wants to chime in because she is online. But we just want to make sure that we might be able to use that historic photograph without having some copyright issues on the traffic box. But the artist was happy to do that. She thought that was a great idea. She's excited. She's been going out to orchards to get some reference photos for color and things. So she's really excited about the project and liked that historic reference idea. Oh, and I guess background for commissioners that weren't part of the jurying process for that. The historic photo is women picking apples in an orchard in Meridian. And it looks like it's probably dated around like 1920. So it's kind of a cool historical reference.
Thank you, Cassandra. Yeah, so we chose three of the artists that we want to recommend to the commission. Is that something we're doing that today? Is
Based on the stakeholder committee, I did move forward with letting the artists know and giving them the congratulations. So the commission will, when we have the final designs, then the commission can give a vote on the final ones.
Great. Thanks for clarifying that. All right. Well, aside from the selecting these 3 artists, we also had some general updates on our projects that we got going on, the Chateau Public Art, the Linder Overpass project, and the West Ada School District traffic boxes, and also a little bit of the public art master plan. So we had some updates from Cassandra on that. The 3 artists presented proposals for the Linder Overpass project to stakeholders. Cassandra reviewed the artist concepts with us, the Public Art Committee. Stephanie Inman, her project proposal scored the highest. Cassandra will probably share more about that. We recapped the transit shelter project and unveiling, a success. It was a very cool event that took place on Monday, the 15th. Great turnout, public, city employees, and other volunteers. We also discussed the public art temporary mural project that is happening on September 14th as part of the Meridian Art Party. And Paxton presented a rough draft of one of the images that she's designed for one of the community panels. And we were very excited to look and review and give her feedback. It was really, really cool design. Thank you, Paxton. And so the final design will be transferred onto one of the panels prior to the event. So that's happening already next month. We'll be doing some prep work for that. I know I'll be helping Jay, the artist coordinator for that. And some of the other commissioners will also be helping just do some prep work for it. And that's pretty much it for the Public Art Committee. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that update. All right, so now for the update for events and outreach with Crystal Paulson, me. So some updates for that. We have all of the presenters for the Tammy DeVeerd Award all lined up, and that's going well. And then we are looking at the community art parties coming together, and it's looking awesome. It looks like it can, where it's at right now, we'll really be able to launch into the future. One thing that we're looking at for Art Week, oh yes, also classes are looking pretty good. We have several people lined up, some return people, like the Angry Easel will be doing classes. We'll have our writing class again, things like that. Was it a square dance class too? Line dance?
And commissioners, everyone has a copy of in front of you with the activity guide. I didn't print off the entire activity guide, which is like 50 pages, just the Art Week insert and the front page, but there's a whole list of the classes that are there. So help spread the word on those classes. I think there's 6 or 7 classes, which is more than we've ever had before.
So the only thing that we're looking at that needs more promotion is the art drop. So if you guys have ideas of how to do that, I know in my classes that I teach, I'll be letting people know about the art drop, and if they want to participate, then that's great. Also, if you guys want to do something for the art drop, like come together, have an event or something, and we make projects that we can also deposit. Because I know that when I've been downtown, I've seen like grandparents and grandkids, families coming together, and they'll leave art, but they also like to do the treasure hunt of finding the art. So the most difficult part about that is just making sure there's enough art for everyone to be able to participate. So if you have any ideas of how we could further promote that or get people involved, we would love to put that out there.
So just to ask a question about that, I think somebody mentioned the last time we talked about this, that if you had art or if somebody brought in something, they could bring it here and somebody in the city would hide it, quote unquote. Is that still true, or do you have to hide it yourself? Does Jane Q. Public or John Q. Public have to hide it themselves?
Madam Chair and Commissioners, yes. If you want to drop off, if you have several pieces, I'll be here all week. And so I can go out and I've done that in the past, is kind of I have a collection of pieces and then kind of parcel that out throughout the week so that there's some pieces throughout the week. I can do that. And
So-
Paxton.
Okay.
Yeah, but overall, if it's individuals, the individuals themselves are leaving the pieces. We don't want to offer Cassandra for the whole community.
We don't?
But she's willing to do it for the people here.
Yeah, I was just going to add, Cassandra, if you get a lot, we could do a commissioner drop, have a little gathering and party. So if you're overburdened, which beyond where you already are, thank you.
And there's some kind of a map on here too, right? On the the street limits, where to drop it. Okay.
Because there's near City Hall and it goes down to, what's the street by Boys and Girls Club? Fine, right?
But the art maker could find that on one of these.
The map is on the website. And although I will say most of the pieces do get dropped around City Hall, Generations Plaza, kind of around the library and Boys and Girls Club. I think the actual parameters go a bit farther than that, but I've mostly only noticed things sort of around those locations.
Okay. Good to know. Fun.
So as I said, if you guys think of anything, you can text me or call me, or you want to participate in something, let me know. All right. So next on the agenda is staff updates with Cassandra.
Okay, so this, I'm not going to show you all of the designs. We did have representatives of the Arts Commission, Ada County Highway District, the landscape architect, and people from our planning department all involved with the stakeholder committee for this that reviewed all the designs, and it was helpful to have those people like ACHD in particular being able to be there and give some of the feedback, because this is a sort of technical location because it's in a roadway, it's in a median, and this is the design that the group, or the proposal that the group moved forward with, that will still probably get some adaptations based on some of the stakeholder feedback, and also just as the project moves forward, because there's probably a lot more entities than we typically might have, which would usually just be the Parks Department. We're working with a lot of agencies. So this is a Stephanie Inman's design, and it's sort of based on the Birds of Prey, which, oh, let me back up just a second. So this project is along Linder Road, and when Linder Road is constructed, this is a priority project for the city. It will be one of the longest running north-south contiguous streets in the valley. It'll kind of go all the way up from kind of around where Initial Point is, up towards Cuna and in the Oahes, all the way down to the river. I can't remember how many miles it is, but it's going to be a really long roadway and a nice connection. There will be an overpass, not an on-ramp, off-ramp, just an overpass. And talked to the group as they were developing things, and the medians were identified as the place for the artwork to go. So the proposals came from 3 different groups that the Public Art Committee recommended, or 3 different artist/artist groups. And some of the features that we wanted the artists to include was installation sculpture, They ended up all proposing for the same median, which was interesting because there are 3 medians, but they went for the middle one, which made the most sense because there's also kind of a pedestrian crosswalk area there. So you'd be able to see the work if you're a pedestrian. Although most of the people seeing it are going to be cars going potentially a little bit too fast, which is one of the reasons that you put medians somewhere, is to kind of traffic calming. So that's sort of bigger picture background on where the public art is. So we're talking about the overpass, but it's in the medians north of the overpass. Okay, so she tied it into the Birds of Prey because the Birds of Prey Center is sort of north of here along the roadway. And she also was thinking about Initial Point. So there's a couple icons in there about the survey equipment. So she was thinking about, the passageway from the Snake River and Initial Point, Birds of Prey, and designing these swooping birds at different heights and angles. These are some of the sketches. And I should have brought the mock-up in here. She has like this little mock-up. So they're different colors and made out of metal. And the bottom part, you can see those marks. It's meant to reference like survey equipment, like a survey stick. And these birds be 4 to 8 feet high. I am working with, we might shorten the height a touch to 6 feet high for the maximum, just to make a couple of permitting processes and engineering a little bit more smooth. And they have kind of holes in the bottom, which is so that water wouldn't collect and get trapped, which is a nice feature. And she had all the birds. Oh, she had already thought about some of the landscaping sort of things, although the landscaping will be under the landscape architect. One of the nice features about this project is that the landscape architect is going to work with the artist to do landscaping that complements the artwork. I keep thinking of the example, there's some pieces on Vista Avenue in Boise, and they're really cool, but you can't see them because there's trees that are about the same height as the pieces, and they're like completely obscured. You can't see them. So it was important to get them working at the same time. But she already had some ideas, which I think is great, and they'll work together on that. And there'll be some, hopefully we can get the lighting features figured out and get the electricity out to the site and do some in-ground lighting underneath the pieces. Okay, so one of the things that was pointed out by several people in the committee, the birds are kind of all the exact same shape. So that is something that she'll develop moving forward, is like some, not having them all like this, but maybe at some different heights. One of the other things that was brought up is they're kind of grouped, and birds of prey don't usually go in groups. Although if they're sort of in different things, then it could be kind of like a time feature, not necessarily like birds in groups, but just thinking about a bird like moving through space. But also one of the things thinking about landscape architect and impact is you kind of group things together a lot of the time just to have a little bit more visual impact. So I know she had thought a lot about, spacing them out or sort of grouping them, but grouping, we're thinking will have a little more visual impact than single pieces spaced evenly. A few more images. Oh, and she was going to have them facing like they were flying towards the birds of prey, facing that direction. The paint is kind of cool. She thought about different things. She wants to use like what you use on cars, like a car paint, so she can achieve sort of an ombre effect. Instead of like if you powder coat things, which is typical for a lot of projects, you just get one flat color. So the car paint is kind of a cool feature, and it'll have a clear coat over the top of it. And that was the lighting that she was suggesting. So that's the proposal. It'll probably go through a few changes before it's final. And this is also kind of a long-term project, and it's a little bit of a hurry up and wait because we need the artwork and the footing and foundation and engineering in place sort of now for this project as the roadway is constructed, although it might not end up getting, probably won't get installed until 2026. So with that, any questions?
Could Could you pull up the slide of the financial breakdown? So the artist that's doing that, are they going to be doing the metalwork themselves?
Good question. Stephanie's fabricator is Ken McCall, who's one of our um, great fabricators in the area who she uses for her projects. So, and this budget, I already know, is there. So it's a $75,000 project, but I think there potentially might be some shifting as we try to figure out the lighting. And she, because I think some of the lighting is going to have to come out of the artist budget, unfortunately. So the budget might shift a little bit, but this is the proposed budget.
Awesome.
Quick question. $5,900 of storage?
Yes, so she doesn't have storage available, and she, instead of potentially fabricating the pieces later so that there doesn't have to be storage, actually material costs might go up. So she wanted to fabricate them earlier and have storage. And the storage is one of the items that we plan to try and work with her on, since we do need some lighting features and potentially might be able to help do some storage.
I will volunteer our backyard for $5,900.
I don't know if you want to store a dozen sculptures that are that tall in a weatherproof, and it can't be just out. I don't think it can be outside, so.
So the heights, you're looking at lowering the 8 foot to 6 foot. Does that mean each one of them lowers about 2 feet each? Is that what you're kind of looking?
So these are, we actually have not even talked to the artist at this point yet, so I don't want to give, the information might shift a little about the heights.
Yeah, just to comment on that, one of the things we had a long discussion on was, you know, knowing what it is, and then, was it I can't remember which department he was from, but they really have to go out and take a look at specific spots as to view and traffic, sight lines and all of that, to then determine what all that could be, or a max should be, that will be interfering with drivers' views as they go to intersections and that.
And that was Ada County Highway District, so that's the Highway District, ACHD. What else did I have updates on? Oh, traffic box, public art. So still working on locations for the West Edge School District boxes, but started working with the artists that were selected, the 3 ones for the professional boxes. Concerts on Broadway, the first one is this month. I can't believe it's happening already, so that's coming up August 24th. Come to the show if you can make it. That kicks off the season. I included the poster in front of you. And the poster is also printed as an 11 by 17, that one and the community art party. And hopefully you see them up all around town. So we did pay for marketing and advertising for those. There's a poster distribution guy that went out, and I can't remember how many posters, like 500 or 1,000 posters of each one in different locations around Meridian. And let's see, community art party, we kind of covered that. We're adding more organizations all the time as they come in. I'm really excited about this event. And we've got the band shell programmed with various things. Let me just pull up the website real quick to show who all we have coming. So we have all of these organizations coming out and either performing or having a booth space. So that's, and a few more coming all the time, along with the chalk art competition and the mural project. And oh, there's like a rock painting one. So this should be a really fun event. It's been kind of evolving, but I think I'm really excited about it. And I did want to ask, because I want to make sure we have enough judges for the chalk art competition, who is planning on coming to the event and is available for a judge? Let me just write this down real quick. You're on there. So Commissioner Paulson and O'Leary and Muscolo, I think. Sorry, not Muscolo.
And in return, I would ask you what time to show up.
So we need people for setup to the end. So it'd be great if you could come for the registration part, because that's always a little bit of chaos. So probably come at like 9:30. People start registering at 10. They can start actually doing their chalk art at 10:30. And then I have to look at the instruction. I think they have to be wrapped up by 1:30, and then there's some time for judging, and then the awards announced at 2.
And does our volunteering give us enough people to monitor the chalk art event too, that we talked about?
So what was the question? Do we have enough volunteers to monitor the chalk art competition? So I think that would be the 4 of you, but that's kind of the monitors. We do, I think we'll have a few other volunteers for the event, but we'll be doing other things. So relying on the Arts Commission for volunteer manpower on the chalk art. And final update, the Voices and Votes Smithsonian exhibit. So I've come across some hurdles for that. I was kind of waiting on the College of Western Idaho's partnerships letter for quite a while. And then the deadline was coming up, and then we went ahead and scheduled the gallery shows. And then the city has a new grants policy. So everything has to go through the grants committee. And there's sort of like a more of a approvals and step process. And then the deadline was extended, but there were kind of a lot of hurdles. So we're not moving forward with that grant application at this time, unfortunately. But we do have most of the things sort of in place that hopefully the timing will work out a little bit better next time they offer the Museums on Main Street program. And that is all I have. Any other questions?
Do we have a motion to close?
Madam Chair, I so move.
I second.
Lizzie Taylor moves. And Breckenberg seconds. We are adjourned.
And Madam Chair and Commissioners, one final thing. So September's meeting will be canceled for Art Week. So please come to all the Art Week activities.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All in favor wins.